going on? Zash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today, I am not alone. I'm joined by Skratch, AK-47. Skratch, welcome back to the channel, man. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, Ash? Doing pretty good. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Always a blast sharing a raid with you, buddy.
Yeah, man. We're going to talk Hydra clan boss today. Get ready. People seem to be liking Hydra a little bit more after they made the changes, Skratch. Have you noticed the same thing?
I'm glad, yeah.
Yeah, at least some of my viewers. Some of my viewers are watching right now. I think a couple people. Hey, guys. How you doing? Hydra clan boss? Not too bad, right? Not too bad. At least you can get your hands on Mithrala. And boy, we're going to talk about the top 10 damage dealers today. But Mithrala is a beast, huh, man?
Oh, absolutely. She is worth it. And one thing to keep in mind, guys, we're going to get another champion after Mithrala.
I don't want any trouble.
We don't want any trouble either.
Because they're going to have to bring some rewards to make people want to farm Hydra, you know?
Yeah.
And definitely you want to be ahead of the curve so you don't have to wait 3 months later to put your hand on the next champion, basically. You got to think about it like that. Now they nerf Hydra. It's easier to make it. You might have to spend 10, 15, 20 minutes to do the key instead of just putting it on auto and forget. You can do that as well. Just you're not going to get the best results. But we're going to bring you the best damage dealers, guys, to help you get your keys done in the fastest time possible. You know, it's all about having that damage in as well, not just support. That was the main thing with Hydra, because everybody was focusing on bringing so much support to the team, you know? And you didn't have enough damage early on. That was the problem with most of the teams, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like a certain number in terms of like a damage threshold? Like if you don't have a certain amount of damage by, you know, X amount of turns, are you just restarting automatically?
Depending on the rotation, I am actually, yeah. So if I'm getting around turn 50 and the damage is not looking great, like if I'm not getting to 20 or 15 million plus damage, you know, I'm like, this is not gonna go good.
Yeah.
But now, since the nerf, the things are actually going a bit better because they're not devouring your champions as faster. You can free them a bit easier, you know, so that actually helps a lot.
Definitely noticeable. Yeah.
Helps a lot to...
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Helps a lot.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I was gonna say it helps a lot, so I don't have to waste time now to restart because I feel like, okay, I can do it now, you know.
What you say?
All right, you go first, Skratch. Who do you have as our #1 damage dealer, or 1 out of 10?
So my favorite out of all of them is gonna be Geomancer.
Okay.
He just brings so much stuff to the Hydra. Like we have the HP burn. The whole thing comes from his passive, which is so damn unique. And since they changed him, this is what made him the #1 boss slayer in the game, because he literally obliterates all the bosses. When you have HP burn on everyone, whenever your allies get attacked, it's kind of like getting giant slayer hits on all the heads at the same time. That's what makes him so damn good. He works better when you have the head of the one that deals damage. I kind of forgot his name right now, honestly. It was on top of my mind all the time. And the head of rat. There we go.
There you go.
I tend to do this sometimes, forget names basically. But the head of rat, if he's in the first rotation when it starts, is actually working better because you want him to use that AoE skill as often on all your team, so like that you reflect more damage back. What I like about him that you can target the head of mischief with the HP burn regardless if he has hacks or not, so that will actually help your team a lot. And then he can remove buffs or steal buffs from the heads if they have increased attack, like the head of rat, or if somebody gets to have too many buffs that they don't belong there, he can actually remove them or take them back basically. And is actually very, very solid as a champion. Decreased accuracy AoE.
Yep, I think that everybody who has him probably runs him on their Hydra team. I don't see why you wouldn't. How do you build your Geomancer? What do you have him artifact wise?
So I'm gonna put it out there, depending on the 2 rotations. So I'm usually running him if it's a rotation with a head of torment. I'm gonna run Inquisitor Shamael with him as well. So then I'm gonna build Geomancer on a regeneration set, put him as lead, and Shamael is constantly gonna boost the thermometer. So I'm gonna get to have HP burn on all the heads without worrying about too many turns. If I don't have the head of torment and I'm using Duchess instead of Inquisitor Shamael or a different reviver, I'm gonna build him on Relentless. Because like that, I need to make sure I'm keeping HP burn on everybody. Like if it's the head of Blight and dropping in the Toxic Clouds, I'm gonna be able to have HP burn on everyone with one single Geomancer because of the the Relentless set. Sorry.
That's a really good call out there. And in terms of masteries too, you go Warmaster on Geo.
Yeah, Warmaster.
Yeah, it used to be
A1 is AoE, so
yeah, it used to be Giant Slayer, but you should switch if you're still under Giant Slayer to Warmaster, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. That used to be back
before they
changed the whole thing with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at somebody's like actually some guy. Hi, if you're watching at the gym, like recognized me.
I feel exposed.
And he's like, hey, what do you think of my team? And he had Geo, and he's running Geo with Giant Slayer, and he's like, it's just not working. There's no damage, you know? So I'm like, oh, you didn't change it to Warmaster, you know? Okay, next up, I'm going to go with an OP Void Legendary, forgive the pay to win, into Misha. I think this chick is amazing. She's foxy.
She's foxy indeed, yeah.
I really love this champion, man. She is my damage carry on any team that I use her on for Hydra Clan Boss. She's got an AoE HP burn for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. Unbelievable. A decreased speed on targets with less than 50% turn meter on that same ability. Stuns too. I mean, it doesn't help with Hydra, but still a tremendous ability overall. And then Burning Regret is insane. Damage increases by 40% for each active HP burn debuff in the battle, up to 400% extra damage. And that just, you know, it can smack. It can smack, you know, hitting from anywhere from, I don't know, 100,000 to 1,000,000 plus damage on that A3 ability. So yeah, I'm very lucky to have her, and I use her on my main Hydra team, and she is amazing.
Yeah, she's definitely a beast of a champion. Like, I'm curious, when you decapitate a head, does that head come back? If I would be that head, I would run away. Just looking at this.
I was taking you seriously for a second. I thought you were asking me like a technical question, like when you decapitate head, what happened? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I agree, bro. I agree. She's fantastic. Do you have her?
I do, yeah. I'm actually running her in the spider dungeon. 15 seconds stay with her because I don't have Cecilia on that account, yeah.
Oh, okay. I run her and Cecilia together, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So anyway, okay, number 3.
So I'm gonna talk about a Void Epic.
Okay.
And not as pay to win as you, but basically
it doesn't get much better on my list, bro.
Boros is actually not a bad champion at all.
That's a good call out. It's a good call out.
She's pretty spicy for the Hydra now. When Hydra got released and the Inquisitor Shamael thing was going on crazy, she used to smack so hard. The A1 was becoming AoE, and even now you can do it if you have enough debuffs on a target. You're gonna make this skill AoE, bringing in tons of damage. You're gonna have defense down. That's gonna be pretty important. Then with the A2, attacks one enemy 2 times. The second hit has a chance to transfer all the debuffs. So if you have poisons on her from the Head of Blight or anything else, you're gonna be able to transfer them to somebody else. Then she gets Perfect Veil. The A3, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, and the Perfect Veil from here. Sorry,
yeah.
I just
But she has the steal. She can steal the buffs if she's under that Perfect Veil. She opens.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Sorry, my bad there.
No, it's all good.
So overall, she brings in tons of damage. The passive places a revive on that on her every time she receives the Veil or Perfect Veil. So you don't really have to worry about as much like, okay, maybe she's gonna die now. If she is under Veil or Perfect Veil, she's gonna get that revive on that, and that's gonna keep her safe. Plus, she has a attack aura for dungeons, but it's not gonna help us in the Hydra though.
I agree. Aburo is fantastic. I know a lot of my clanmates use her as well. I'm going to go with... I didn't mean to pick all legendaries on my 5, but I did, now that you mentioned it. I'm going to go with Ninja.
Called epics. It's my fault here.
Yeah, well, you hogged all the epics.
I did, yeah.
So, I'm going to go with Ninja.
Here I go again.
You know, I don't want to spend too long on Ninja because I know that everybody doesn't have him, gets upset about it. I mean, he's just a boss because Hail Burn just does so much freaking damage. When instantly activating HP Burn, he is the boss killer. He gets better the longer that he goes. He ignores defense on the A3. He has decreased defense on the A1 as well. But really just comes down to Hail Burn. So I run him in Relentless, and he can just deal a ton of damage anywhere to any boss in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That skill is just so damn crazy. I wish we would get more champions like this,
right?
You know, honestly.
It's like
absolutely.
It's like he's like a cheat code in this game. It's incredible. All right, who you got number 5?
Number 5, I'm gonna go dirty pay to win.
Okay.
Why not? I'm gonna go with Tranda, man.
Okay.
So she's not probably the best choice for Nightmare, guys. okay, because it's harder to make it work with her. But if you're doing other difficulties, she's definitely the cheat code, how Ash is saying it. The A2 attacks one enemy, then attacks all other enemies with a second hit, dealing 60% of the damage inflicted. Now, I'm not sure how many of you guys actually saw what she can do, but basically, when the heads are decapitated, their defense kind of goes like to a very small base, like basically like almost no defense, you know? So when you're using this skill on a dead decapitated head, you're gonna deal millions and millions of damage. Literally, it's taking you like 40 seconds to one key hard with 2 Trundas.
Cool, man. That's cool. So you just run her basically like you can just use your San Marino build on Trunda. And it's all good.
Yeah, I have 1 immunity, 1 savage.
Yep.
Chuck them in there. Gurv Tuck, because we need him. Increase attack and a Kaimar or something. Maybe not Kaimar necessarily all the time. It will be easier with him to reset to make it faster. But it's just a fun thing to see that she can actually drop in so much crazy damage. You know, it's insane actually.
I agree. Okay, number 6 is going to be Michald. Michald is probably after Tamisha. He's my number 2, right? My number 2. Pretty simple kit, pretty simple to understand why he's so freaking good against Hydra. But obviously Tornado is an insane ability, increase crit damage on all allies, speed on all allies, True Fear, and more importantly for Hydra, Leech on all enemies for 2 turns. Get an extra turn on his A1 ability, will attack 1 enemy, heals this champion 30% of the damage inflicted, and then attacks all enemies under Leech, aka everybody, because he's putting them on there on essentially a 2-turn cooldown because he's getting an extra turn every time he uses Tornado. He also has open wounds. Some people shut this off, some people keep it on, but either way, we have damage increase, we have continuous heal, easy to keep him alive as well, and we have a chance of stealing buffs from the target after attacking. Do you use Michald against Hydra?
Not anymore. I used to run him before in the Hydra.
Cool.
But I'm not running him anymore. He's very good because of the Leech, the buffs, you know, so you don't need to worry about having another champion to give you heals to keep your team alive. But
exactly,
I like him with the A3 on, actually, because if the Head of Mischief steals buffs, or if the Head of Suffering is putting in the reflex damage or anything crazy like that, reflect damage, sorry, you're going to get to steal them from them. So that's very, very important to have on, you know.
Yep, absolutely. All right, next up.
Let me go to my 2 favorite epics. I actually kept them for the end here, but I'm gonna go with Ask first. Now, he skyrocketed even more, and that's because of the A1. The A1 has a chance to provoke. Now we can actually provoke one of the heads, which is very, very important. It's such a game changer. The A2 enemy backs HP, AoE, deals tons and tons of damage. The A3 is not that important. You can literally scrap that off. Just focus with the A1 and the A2. And he has pretty good base stats. So he's an HP-based champion that allows you to build him tankier. He's going to survive longer than Royal Guard, for example. And overall, he's just a beast of a champion for Hydra Clan Boss. Definitely one of the top 3 in my opinion.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better. And Husk is... he's one of the many champions that Hydra Clan Boss really made mainstream, made meta for the first time in the game, which is cool to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Before he was like kind of the niche, forgotten enemy max HP champion in the game. Now he's used by probably everybody who has him on Hydra. I'm gonna go with probably one of the more obvious, and it's Cecilia Flametongue. She is a monster.
If she caught us, she would kill us.
He's already dead.
Really, Spider 25 or Hydra Clan Boss or anywhere that you want to deal an insane amount of damage. She has the A3. She opens up with the A3 ability. HP burn on this champion for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies. 100% HP burn on all enemies when booked for 3 turns on a 4-turn cooldown. Grants an extra turn if HP burn is placed on all enemies. And then on the A2, attacks all enemies, has a weaken, decreased defense if there are 2 enemies under HP burn, and then instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on each target and decreases the duration of the of those HP burns as well. I mean, Skratch, I mean, you've seen it, obviously, but she just wrecks. She shreds this so much damage potential in the synergy of having an AoE attack, HP burn place, weaken, debuffs, why not? And then instant activation right after another AoE. It's insane.
She's very, very powerful. Actually, detonating the HP burn on its own, but then bringing all the rest of the debuffs and the damage that she has actually with the AoEs is very, very powerful as a champion.
Yeah, she has 100%. HP burn increase on the A1 is too on a 3-time hitter, so you can deal some nice, Giant Slayer damage as well on the A1. So she's a beast. All right.
Absolutely.
You only have one left, huh?
I only have one left, and that's no one else but the RG. You know, this was so obvious, most probably, but that takedown is everything that you need in your Hydra clan boss. He deals so much damage with this, a bit more than a Husk, because he has slightly better multipliers, or the books give him more damage. But then he has that A3 that has a chance to decrease speed as well, 4 times at random. I'm personally not relying on this much, you know, so I'm usually switching that off.
Okay.
I have him built on Relentless. I have him built on Reflex. So I kind of want to focus more on the the takedown, you know.
Getting as many takedowns as possible.
The more often I use it, the more damage I get to ramp up in quick, you know. And the A1 has a defense down as well, but I don't build him with accuracy. Sometimes, actually, funny enough, it comes in as a clutch, that 3% chance, and bang, I land the debuff right at the right time, you know. And I'm like, wow, that was a good clutch, you know.
Yeah, I need to rebuild my Royal Guard in Reflex. I think I want to try that same strategy of because right now I use them with Hamstring on. I do have some accuracy for the decreased speed, but I think that's a good idea to just Reflex. This is never on cooldown. You don't have to worry about it, and just more takedowns. I agree. Cool. Okay, the last champion up. I'm curious who my viewers would go with here. We've given you 9 top damage dealers for Hydra Clan Boss. I'm actually going to go with a little bit of a curveball.
Let's see.
Maybe, I don't know, for the last. And I'm actually going to go with Under Priest Brogni. Just because, again, of the passive, similar to Geo, but not, you know, obviously the different dynamic, different mechanic. But, I mean, this guy can do a lot, right? He has HP burn on his A1. He has growing shields on his A2. Removing a random buff from all enemies is very, very helpful. Removing a debuff from all allies is fantastic. The shield, more shield on the A2. We got block debuffs. We got increased attack. We got the actual shield on a A3 on a 3-turn cooldown. Shield cannot be removed. And then, whenever an ally under shield is attacked, reflects 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield back to the attacker, also heals that ally. So, I mean, he can just deal so much damage off of the Redoubt passive, which makes him a fantastic support and DPS for the Hydra Clan Boss.
Yeah, definitely. Brogni is a very solid champion all around, man. Like, every time I'm talking about this champion, I'm always like, damn, this champion is just so good that there is no place in the game where he's not shining, you know?
Right?
Like, he's like the superstar of the show, you know?
I was trying to show like what teams I've been using, but I've only used one key so far, and it was only on hard, so not much to show here. But this is kind of the, you know, one of my main teams, guys, on the screen right now. What would you say your best team is, Skratch, on Hydra?
I'm usually running.
It depends on the rotation, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah, but my most used team is Duchess, Geomancer, 1 RG, 1 Husk, Krisk, and Lydia. Not paid to win at all. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Mine's even worse. So I won't even mention it. Do we forget anybody who you think is, you know, I'm sure my viewers will let us know, but is there anybody that we forgot that is like a top damage dealer that we did not mention?
There are a few other champions that can deal damage. Cupidus,
I was gonna say Cupidus,
and these champions, but I feel like they're not feeling so good in most of the teams. It's harder for you to build teams around them, you know. So maybe for the normal difficulty, that most of the champions will do damage there. Magnar, everyone will do damage on the normal difficulty.
True.
But
Magnar's
how
a good choice.
How you start going on higher difficulties, you're gonna find it a bit that, oh, this one doesn't do much damage for me anymore. Like, you can take Turvold on the normal, he might smack a head in a hit, but then when you take him on a brutal, for example, you're gonna be like, oh, this doesn't work. I gotta take him for an AoE, you know, a good AoE or some champion that brings damage as something else to the team. So.
Yeah. All right, well, that's going to do it for the video then. Guys, go ahead and check out Skratch AK-47's YouTube channel. I just did 2 collabs with him as well. We did the most underrated legendary in every faction, and we also did, what did we do? Value Surge. So we both picked 3 champions that we think value has gone way up recently. Go ahead and check those videos out on Skratch's YouTube channel. Skratch, thanks for joining me, man.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.